Alright guys, this video is going to be about lowering a 2020 Yamaha MT-03. The kit that I'm using is going to be from TREX Racing, and we're going to go through step by step on how I'm doing it. I've got the bike supported off the rear sets on jack stands. I got one on each side. The bike is super stable. The front has to also be lowered in conjunction with the rear so that you don't change the rake and ride of the bike. So I've already dropped these through the triple clamps, made them even on both sides. And the way I did that is I put a scissor jack underneath the oil pan and jacked it up with these jack stands just like they are right now, and just jacked the front tire and got it up off the ground just a little bit. Then I loosened this and the corresponding one on the other side right here. And then I loosened this one and the corresponding one on the other side. Then I lowered down the scissor jack until these were sticking out 1.5 inches out of the top clamp. All I'm doing is making sure that each side is adjusted evenly, and I'm just using calipers. You don't have to use calipers. You could use a tape measure, you could use a piece of 1-inch wide flat bar and just measure from the top of the triple clamp to the top of the fork leg. All you're making sure is that they're even, that's all. Once I had both sides perfect, then I went through and torqued this one to 22 foot-pounds, and then I torqued the upper one to 15 foot-pounds. And that's all there is to do on the front. Now we're going to work on the rear. In your TREX racing kit, you're going to get 2 pieces of aluminum. These are your lowering links. You're going to get a couple pieces of hardware, and you're also going to get the instructions. And this lowering kit will work for the Yamaha R3 and the MT-03. They're the same suspension. You can see right here, it says that these links are almost 2 times stronger than the 6061 series aluminum that are used for the stock OEM links. So that'll be pretty nice. And for tools, they say we need a rear swing arm paddock stand. Front stand is recommended for more stability. 2 floor jacks or bottle jacks, and a 10mm Allen key or hex key. And so we'll start by taking off the chain guard, and that's a 5mm Allen to get that out. Now we're going to remove the rear wheel. The nut on the right side of the bike is 22mm, and the bolt on the left side is 19. Now we got to take 1 inch off the height of this mud guard, and it's super tight to get up in there. I can't even show you what it is, but make sure you get yourself a 1/4 inch ratchet and a short 8mm socket, and that will get the mud guard off there. And then we'll get the mud guard off and we'll cut it. We'll take 1 inch out of it. That's the little screw I'm taking out. Real tiny. Small, small, small. There's one on the other side too. Actually, you can kind of see it. Super hard to see. See right up in there. That bolt right up in there, that bolt head, that's what we're taking out. I suppose you could cut this on the bike, but I think it's just as easy to do it now. Get it right off, and there it is. Like I said, the directions said to cut 1 inch off it, so I've just got a piece of 1-inch flat bar, and we will just trace it out. Alright. There it is. We'll bring that over the portable bandsaw and we'll cut it right out. There we go. Looks factory, just 1 inch shorter. And we'll take a little piece of sandpaper and we'll clean up any little burr, rough edges. There it is. I think that looks factory. What do you guys think? Now take the bolt out. Now you might have to lift the swing arm up just a little bit to ease pressure off it. There. Just like that. The swing arm's actually resting on top of the exhaust right now. Now I'm going to take a rag. I've pulled the shock back a little bit out of the way, and I'm just going to clean things up a little bit with a rag, get any dirt, gunk out of there. Now's the time to do it. Well, it's all exposed. You can get your hand in here. Alright, so nowhere in the directions does it tell you which one of these is left and which one is right. So I'm going to show you right now which one's left. So if you look at them, there's one that has a little short tab and one that has the long tab. Okay, look at those side by side. The one with the short is the left. So that's the left side. Okay, the kit comes with 2 bolts. One that has a spacer. Not that one. You don't need that one yet. Use this one. This is the one they call the flathead bolt in washer. I've got some white lithium grease, and I'm going to put a generous coating on this. Now we're going to slip the right side through. At this point, you might have to jack up the suspension a little bit. So what I've done is I've got a scissor jack and I've just put the axle back in the bike, and I'm going to lower it to give you some clearance. You're kind of playing with it back and forth. You kind of got a extremely tight fit, guys. There. Now it looks like I'll probably try to bend this tab back. Alright, this tab right here, guys, bend it towards you. Don't bend it away. Bend it forward towards you a little bit. That'll give you the clearance that you need. That's what I've been struggling with. Now I got it. So now I'm just kind of working it on, putting the jack up a little bit at a time. There we go. Look at that. That side bracket came right on it. Put that washer on, then put a nut on this side. Do everything just finger tight for now. Now I'm just going to take a couple 19mm wrenches and just gently snug this up. And you want to make sure that these aluminum bracket pieces are fitting over the lugs for where the shock used to go. Now is where we're going to use this bolt, and we're going to use, this one's the hex one. I'm going to take off this spacer right here, and that spacer is going to go where that shock used to go in the original mount. There we go. So now we're going to put some lithium grease on this and slide this through the hole on the swing arm on the other side. And there it is, right there, guys. See it come through? And you're going to put a washer on it, and you're going to put blue Loctite on everything. So we blue Loctited this one and snug that one up by hand. Now we're going to put some blue Loctite on this, and we'll snug this one up, and then we'll torque everything right to whatever spec they tell us to. This one, obviously, you can't torque because there's no way to get a ratchet in there. Might be able to use like a crow's foot. If you had a crow's foot with a torque wrench, you probably could. So the bolt where the factory mount used to be, it says to tighten that one to approximately 45 foot-pounds. And I'm going to do this one the same. Now the bike should be about an inch, inch and a half lower than it used to be, if we did it right. Because I didn't change the settings for the sprocket, I don't have to readjust the chain. So this nut, again, rear axle nut, is 42 foot-pounds, and it's a 22mm socket. Now we just got to put on our chain guard, and the bolts for the chain guard, there's 2 of them. They're 7.2 pounds. And then just to confirm, the lower shock nut, where the factory bolt used to be, calls for 42 foot-pounds of torque. We just got our mud guard to put back in, and we are in business. And here it is, guys. Let me lower it down. and we will get an idea of how much lower it actually is. Gotta be careful, I'm doing this by myself, and there's no kickstand for the bike now. It's still out to the powder coaters, so I gotta be real careful that I don't knock this over. I wish I would have taken a measurement before so you could see how tall the bike was, but I'm sure there's some factory specs somewhere. Looks about it's 29.5 inches, guys. Wow, definitely feels a lot lower. Yeah, and my wife can now flat foot this. So that's it, guys. Don't mind these tail lights that are just hanging. The last person bought this tail tidy. I think these are like $24 on Amazon, but they didn't get the mounts, and they're kind of hard to find to mount the factory blinkers. So I found some. So tune in next week and you'll see how I did that. And that's it, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next week.